What is going on, Washington football fans? Another video coming at you from the Washington Football Report. This is JD. We're going to dive right into this. But first, I want to go over a few things. Let me get to the right graphic here, right picture. There we go. First off, follow me on Twitter. The Washington Football Report, WFT Report. And also follow my podcast. It's the Washington Football Report podcast. Episode 1 came out last week. I should be launching episode 2 today or tomorrow. Haven't really finished it, so I either finish today and publish it today or publish it first thing in the morning. So yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. Comments and feedback are always welcome, as long as it's positive, or as long as it's polite positive or negative feedback. So let's dive into some things today. First thing, I came across this graphic. And I just want to let everyone know, if you have ever been given crap for being a Washington fan by anyone, I mean, show them this picture, okay? This picture legitimately shows that Washington is a top 9 franchise in the NFL. If I talk out another picture that's went over how much every team is valued, Washington's like top 6, okay? So think about this: Washington is on this list because we're within like either as low as 7 or as high as 9 in Super Bowl wins, okay? We've won 3. Denver's won 3. Raiders won 3. Giants and Packers have won 4. 49ers have won 5, and so have the Dallas Cowboys. And then the Packers and Steelers have won 6 each. So the fact that we're on this list adds more weight to us being one of the top teams. And there's a reason why. We have two teams in our division are on this list too, on the top 9. The Dallas Cowboys have 5. And the Giants have 4. Okay, and we're also the division that has every team has won in our division. No other division can say that. No other division can say they've won every team has won a Super Bowl. We're the only division that can say that. We have the most appearances. We have the highest winning percentage of Super Bowls we've been in. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise whenever someone says, like, oh, Washington sucks, it's a horrible franchise. You know, we have 20 years of destitute, and we still have 3 more Super Bowls than most teams on this list. We still have more Super Bowls than most teams on this list after 20 years of bad management, or 20-plus years of bad management by Dan Snyder. Okay, so just show them this chart if they want to talk smack. So anyone who's, like, not, like, on our level or like, even anyone that's above us, even anyone that, come on, just close out. There we go. Anyone that is above us, they still don't have anyone else in a division that's on this list. The only one I'd say is a Raiders and Broncos. But the thing is, they're both at 3. They're not like one of them's got like 5 or 6. They're both at 3. So other teams play in a garbage division, unlike us. We play in the toughest division in the NFL, even though some years it's not the best, but overall it has been the best division in football, division in football for pretty much the longevity of the NFL. Okay, so don't let anyone ever give you crap about being a Washington football fan. Okay, or Washington Redskins football fan, whatever. So I have a lot to talk about today. First thing I want to talk about is Washington. This is a graphic now. I've seen a lot of graphics also where we're not predicted to win the division. People think Dallas is going to win the division. People think the Giants are better than us. Let's go over that real quick. I think Washington has the best coach. So if you look down the line, yeah, we're better. Ron's better than Mike McCarthy. Ron is better than Joe Judge as of right now. Joe Judge, I think, is still actually a pretty decent coach. And then whoever the Eagles coach is, I don't even know his name. He's pretty good too. He's not that good either. We don't know. Maybe he is good and we don't know. But you can't say he's good at all because he's never been a head coach before. So we got that part. Quarterback, I think, after Dak Prescott's definitely the best quarterback in this league. Don't get me, or this division. Don't get me wrong. I think he actually is 100% the best quarterback in this division. But then after that, you don't really have a bona fide number 2. I think Matt Jones is decent, but he also fumbles the ball a lot. I think you can get a lot out of Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I think Jalen Hurts there's not enough known about the guy. They don't even know if he's going to be their starter. That's how unconfident they are in him. So, receiver, we have the best receiver in Terry McLaurin. But I think the Dallas Cowboys do have the best receiving core. I think the Giants have a pretty good receiving core as well. But I do think we have the best individual receiver in the division. I think we have the best tight end. Logan Thomas, best tight end. Offensive line, I think it's decent. I don't think it's quite as good as Dallas, but I think it's just on par with. I think it's on par with the Giants, if not like a little bit better. And the Eagles don't have a good offensive line at all. So, yeah, I don't think that. And in defense, it's not even competition. We have the best defense in this division by a mile, and we even added players to make our defense better than it already was last year. We have the number 1 passing defense and number 3 overall defense, and we've added a guy into our secondary. It's going to make our passing defense even better. And don't be surprised if we mess around and get one of the best linebackers come out of the draft in years to come, and we mess around and we have the best run stopping defense next, and we have a number 1 defense, number 1 passing and rushing defense, and number 1 overall. Don't be surprised if that happens. It's going to happen. So yeah, we have by far the best division we are by far the best team in our division. I do think they have it in the right order. I do think the Giants are right behind us. Giants had about 5 or 6 games last year. They lost by less than 5 points. But also we had a couple of those too. We had 2 games we let slip against the Giants, which if we'd have won them, we'd have run away with the division without even a competition. So I think we're going to fix that this year, but we'll get into that. That's a conversation for a different day. So I came across this. So there's a list of guys that everyone was so upset that Kyle Smith was let go, and he wasn't promoted to like GM or whatever position would have been given him more authority over the draft picks. I don't think he's really been the greatest drafter. I mean, if you look at this list, these are guys that didn't pan out. Guys that didn't pan out at all. Some of them didn't even finish their contract with us. Ryan Anderson finished his contract with us, so give him credit, but Samaje Perine didn't pan out. Monte Nicholson didn't pan out. Darius Geis didn't pan out, didn't even finish his contract. Jerron Christian, I think if you moved him to guard, I think he would be better. Honestly, I think he would do a lot better as a guard, just because he has no reach. And as a guard, you can compensate for that a little bit because you don't have to worry about going outside very much. You can kind of keep everything close. Troy Apke sucked. Bryce Love hasn't even played, and he's off the team. Wes Martin, there's some more on there. Josh Doxson and Sua Cravens. There's a couple other players that just haven't panned out and never did anything. And I'm not going to go through it on this, but I actually was bored the other day. I was off on Wednesday, and I was going through the entire draft, all of the drafts we've had the last 11 years since he's been here. And I'm not saying it's not a glaring endorsement for him being the greatest GM. Everyone acts like he hit on every late round pick. Yeah, he has 1 or 2 in there, but I think Ron's analysis of players is better than Kyle Smith's. Cameron Curl was a bona fide just stud for us that we got in the 7th round. Click Hudson was a late round pick. We don't know about Keith Ishmael yet. We'll see. But I just think we got a lot more out of. I think we got a little more out of Ron's analysis of players than Kyle Smith. So I'm not saying Kyle Smith's bad, but let's not act like he hit home runs with every draft pick. He didn't, and it acts the way people react. I had a guy, he's a friend of mine here, who used to come to my store all the time. I used to be a manager for AT&T. He's come to my store all the time. We used to talk Washington football, and he hated the fact that they cut Kyle Smith. They're like, yeah, Ron needs fired for getting rid of him. I'm like, why? The guy doesn't. And I was kind of rah-rah about it too. I didn't think Ron needed to be fired. But yeah, I think we just need everyone needs to take a deep breath about the Kyle Smith thing. He didn't exactly have knockouts. So yeah, next thing I want to go over. So this is a nice little graphic. Okay. This is a graphic about, this is Kyle Trask. Now, everyone keeps talking about Trey Lance, and I thought I'd bring up some stats to kind of give an argument for a different player. Really, if I have my choice, I get Zach Wilson. That's not even an argument. That's been on every video I've said in the last 6 months. So that's not news. But this is Kyle Trask's stats from last year and year before, but last year specifically. In 2020, Kyle Trask played 12 games. And in 12 games, he had 4,283 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Okay, it's not even an interception a game. And that's about 3 touchdowns a game, 3+ touchdowns a game. And he solid yards, good completion percentage. He had 68.9%, so 69% completion percentage. And he also had 180 passer rating. Now, you can go to last year as well, 2019, and see how he did. But I'm going off the last year he played, because that's what we're going to get. Now, he did this against SEC talent. Pretty much good teams. Alabama, the SEC is loaded. It's the best football league in the world next to the NFL. So this is definitely, high caliber talent he's doing this against. Now, let's look at Trey Lance's stats. Trey Lance in 2019, in 16 games. So in more games, he got less passing yards by 1,500 plus passing yards. Okay? 1,500 plus. All right? And he had only 28 touchdowns to Kyle Trask's 43. And everyone's going to say, well, he had 0 interceptions. I'm like, okay, that's more of an indictment of the crappy talent he's playing, because he's playing in FCS and he's playing in a crap. Don't look at the teams he played and tell me that he played good talent. Okay? And I'm not going to be unclear here. I'm not going to have a gotcha. Okay? Added to this is another 1,100 rushing yards. Okay? Another 1,100 rushing yards. So he's got a grand total of 3,800 total yards of offense in 2019. And then he had another 14 touchdowns. That's 42 touchdowns. In 16 games, he still didn't get more yards, and he didn't get more touchdowns than Kyle Trask in a lesser league. Okay? And the last indictment I have against Trey Lance is, and I'll be honest, I don't have anything against Trey Lance. I think he might end up being a pretty good player. Where I have an issue with is people wanting to spend a first rounder on him. He's done nothing to prove that he can play with the speed, athleticism, any of that stuff. He's done nothing to prove that playing in the league he played in. In the league he played in, he played some garbage talent. I may just make a video about this. I'm not done it yet, but I may make a video that shows all the garbage team he played against. And the highest statistical team he played against was Old Dominion or something like that, or Butler University. Those are the 2 highest. And then number 3 on that list is JMU. Now, the last indictment against him is JMU was the championship game he played in. In that game, Trey Lance had a whopping 6 for 10, 6 completions of 10 attempts, 470 yards passing. That, to me, in a championship game, that is just garbage. Against JMU. If you were playing Alabama, I can understand. He did have 160 rushing yards for a touchdown, but he could not pass the ball in JMU. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's not good enough to be in the first round of the draft. If he was a second rounder, I would have no discussion here. Okay, Kyle Trask, I want Washington to take him in the second round. And the reason why I want to take him second round, because he legit has no pressure to start this year. If he's a first rounder and Ryan Fitzpatrick has a game or two where he's throwing picks and turnovers, you're gonna have people calling for his head, and I don't think that's right. I don't think it's gonna happen. But regardless of that, you're still gonna have people calling for to get Trey Lance on the field way too early. If somehow we start the season and Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't playing very well. So if we have Kyle Trask, no one's going to be demanding that. They're going to be asking for Taylor Heineke. So just keep that in mind. I want everyone to know that this is the comparison of what we have. We're getting a quarterback here. We're getting a quarterback in the SEC who put up over 4,000 passing yards in 12 games. So if you play that out, I can do the math here. Actually, I think I might do the math. So if you play that out, so if I'm looking at this, math-wise, 4,328 yards divided by 12, that means per game he's throwing 360. So if he adds 4 more games of that, plus 4,328 passing yards, that's over 5,000 passing yards if he plays a 16-game season. Now, is that realistic? Probably not. It probably isn't going to end up being that way. Just being honest about it. Probably isn't going to end up being that way. But I'm just want to throw that out there that if you're going to play the 16 games and give him credit for the stats in those 16 games, okay, what if we dwindled down his stats over 12 games? How would Trey Lance look then? I don't know. That's just me. So, just want to throw that out there. I know I'm really getting tired of talking about the guy. I don't hate him. I really don't. I just don't like the fact he's a first rounder. Yeah, last topic I got to talk about is this list of garbage names that they sent out for the team. I think it's an overwhelming one name is going to overwhelmingly win this whole thing. So, let's go over some of the mascots. I'm going to go from column to column to column. First one, Aces. Garbage name. Not very good. I can't believe that's even. I mean, there's a thing is a women's basket. The WNBA team called the Aces are from Las Vegas. So, do we want to be competing for their name? No, I don't. Washington Aces is horrible. Ambassadors is horrible. Anchors doesn't make sense. DC is not a port city, so you don't even have that. Annapolis Anchors would look great, or Annapolis Armada would look great because you have the Naval Academy there. Norfolk Armada would be a good one if you had a team in Norfolk, because there's harbors there. But this is not a good option. This is not a good option for Washington. Archers, just so a lot of people know that Washington's moving away from Native American imagery. So why would you have a team name called the Archers if you're moving away from Native American imagery? And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Washington did not. They got fined a couple years ago because, like, when Josh Norman would get like a pick or something or a forced fumble or something, he would do like a simulate like shooting an arrow in the air, and they fined him for that 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So now we get fined for that. Now we can use that as our team name. That doesn't make any sense. So Archers don't make sense to me. I don't hate it, but I'd rather have it kind of sounds like the Apollos to me from the AAF a couple years ago, which I like the Apollos, I like their team colors, but I don't want our team colors to be like that. Aviators. If you're going to do aviators, you might as well just do red tails. Beacons, I don't know if that's supposed to mean belters. Is that like people living near the Beltway? Or is that people who create belts? I don't know which one it is. Brigade. I don't think it makes sense. Washington Brigade doesn't really roll off the tongue very well. Commanders. That's a team from the AAF. What's called the San Antonio Commanders. I don't like that either. Now the nerd in me kind of likes griffins. If you don't know what a griffin is, it's like a half lion, half bird creature. It's got the lion legs and claws and stuff, but its face is like the beak, face and beak of a bird, and there's like wings. It's a pretty cool creature. I'm into like Harry Potter and things like that, so I don't dislike that. But I don't think it would make good mascot. Guardians. The Guardians are the name of the Washington or the New York City team that comes out of the XFL, the XFL New York Guardians. So I don't like that at all. Icons, Washington Icons, that's just stupid. Washington Majors, that's stupid. Washington Monarchs, that's stupid. I guess you can be the like Monarch Butterflies. I guess I don't know. Washington Pilots, like I said, if you're gonna do pilots or aviators, you might as well do Red Tails. Which I don't hate the Red Tails name. The problem is, anytime you lose a game, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you know why you're Red Tail? You just got spanked." But I also think if you do the Red Tails, you gotta change your team's colors to red, white, and blue because it is military based. Washington Presidents, no. Washington Razorbacks. I mean, we're not Arkansas, so no. Washington Red Tails, like I said, I don't dislike the Red Tail one. If that's what it ends up being, I could live with that. Red Wolves, I think, is the overwhelming favorite right now because based on all the ones I've just listed, Red Wolves is definitely the best one on there. Go back. Washington Riders, I don't even know what that means. Riding, what are we riding? Washington Rising, no. Washington Royals, no, we're not. Monarchy, we're a democracy. Washington Rubies, that's a horrible freaking name. I don't know why that would even be an option. I really think they threw a bunch of these in just to kind of make the other, the ones that they really want to stand out, so people focus solely on voting for those. That's what I think he really did this for. The Washington Swift, stupid. Washington Warriors, like I said, they're not going with Native American imagery. So if you have the Washington Warriors, it's not really a horrible option. The problem is it's so common. I think where I'm from in Maryland, I live in a rural area. I'm from a rural area in Maryland initially. I live in Pittsburgh now, but where I'm from, we had at least 4 schools around us were called the Warriors. Okay, it's not exactly a an uncommon name. It's too common. You also have the Golden State Warriors. It's just way too common, and you're not going to use American imagery. So what are you using? Now, if they did like Spartan imagery, I could kind of be okay with Spartan imagery. Okay, just okay. Not good with, but just okay. The Wayfarers, hell no. But I also really, again, I don't like the Warriors. Wild Hogs, no, I don't like that one either. And I don't even know what the last one is. Washington Football Club, some stupid soccer shit. Get that crap out of here. Get your soccer crap out of football. Okay? Football doesn't come into your sport and try to change names and do stuff like that. Okay? Keep your soccer crap in soccer. Okay? So the only ones on here the only one I think would have been pretty good is Washington Warthogs. Wouldn't have been bad because of like the hogs from back in the day. So you have the Warthogs. Wouldn't have been bad. So that wouldn't have been a horrible one. My initial one I wanted was the Washington Warhawks, which would have been the one I initially wanted, but then Red Wolves kind of won me over. I think when you look at this list, there's really only 3 good ones. The only 3 decent ones I see on this list are Red Tails, Red Wolves, and I don't want to say Warriors, but Warriors is those are probably top 3. None of the other ones on here make sense. Yeah, so that's it. But my vote is Red Wolves. So let me know what you think down below what our team name should be. We gotta go through this whole season before we get told. So it's gonna be exciting. I can't wait. But this has been my video. It's 22 minutes long. I wish I could go a little bit longer, but I think I covered all the content I wanted to cover today. I want to thank everyone for watching. And hail to the Redskins. Also, like I said, follow me on Twitter and follow my podcast. Hail to the Redskins. See ya.